This is day 1019 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Who would like to sponsor upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be greatly appreciated. Today we are doing, as we shall be doing for the next several days, Yeridei Siman Pei Gimel. Today we're doing Kav Ches to Lamed Vav. And we mentioned a long Ramah yesterday, and today we're going to explain it. Here's Vav. The Eno Cholik Al Komesh is Bar. It's not about all epicedim. About him, Bikadin Kenu. So this is the primary law. We can assume that tray fish were not sold together with kosher fish. However, who doesn't understand, however, the when they come together in one vessel, it's more likely they were sold together. One of the Kadmonim, evidently Sharei Dura, writes as follows: may there come a curse. To a person who sees for kosher and non-kosher fish lying together, bekli in a vessel, the buys them deliberately. Concerning them, such people, it says the criminals will stumble in them. And he means either we can't protest against them, for the reason we said, there, but the heart knows that they were taught together, which is an interesting parameter in halacha. I mean, if we know it should be awesome. We don't know. We don't know it, so why are we making a big deal out of it? But it's okay. Let's try to do it as a rishon. Mordechai also writes the dogim meluchim munachim yachid am tmeim, when you have salted fish, kosher fish, together with tray fish, no go mitzvah. It's customary to answer them. That's quite likely they were sold together. Well, of course, if there's 60 of the Torah fish relative to the Torah fish, there's no problem whatsoever. We're not that case. The kula is we're not concerned that maybe originally there were less than shishim, and some of the tmeim were sold, shishim, and therefore beforehand there was less than 60. The kula hayin lachush. We don't be chayshish. Chavtes beherring. Ooh, herring. Ain lachush. We're not be concerned. They definitely not salted with other types of tray fish. Because they come from a distance. They come in their thousands. And they're salted by themselves. And then we're not going to be concerned even if they are together with tamei fish on the table, or even in the vessel. They must have been put together after a long time elapsed. That's interesting. Kula. So I assume that what he means to say is that it's commercially processed. So therefore, the people process herring. They only process herring. They don't process other fish. If other fish fall in by inadvertently, well, we're not Rabbi Moshe Tendler who answers tuna fish because of the chashash of dolphins. So we assume that it's batel. It says also other salted fish, you don't have to be machmir, unless we see, and this again does not apply to herring, he said, but in the other fish, we see the tray fish together on the table, or bekeli or vessel. But when a merchant brings kosher salted fish, we don't have to dig down deep and be concerned that maybe there are tamei fish with them gankin as well. We don't be concerned with this even if we could clarify. There's no room for this concern. We'll have the contrary. Even by herring, she's barred the aim by chashash. We'll just clarify. There's no concern whether they're together. But keli and vessel. If we do see that they are together in a vessel being soaked, and there's a lot of brine, in the soaking liquid, and so there are strong soaking liquid. Of course, because of the soaking, not because of the original salting, which we assume was separate. Practically says here, Truma says even Kufan Dav Shari Dura. Rama also means this. Kenu. That's what he says, soaking water. It's about this soaking water now, not some past salting. It came before without Moshe's base. The my mamish, and also it has to be water, soaking water, which is briny, even very briny. My mamish ein lachush. In simple water, you don't have to be concerned. As Saint Quentin said, liak, whatever that is. Vanim tovlim bohem pitam, and this soaking liquid is called, which is really briny, is called liak, and the poor people use it as a dip for their bread. Shuluch ma'od, and because it's very salty. V'gam mitam b'nagish, but also has some taste of the fish. Lama v'sok sharina sharing elushrim b'dogim tmeim. That's only if we see the herring soaking with the tray fish. But if we don't see the soaking, we're not concerned. We have seen in other cases that that other herring is soaking with tame fish. We're not don't have to be concerned. Ulai gam elu kain. Maybe these are in the same boat. No pun intended. Since we didn't see, we don't assume that something went wrong. We don't should not be machmin this. And all the things which are more machmir is the chatchila. It's preferable. Because there's a logic there, which is a reyusa that if you find the same there, they were sold together. Like we explained, even though it can be lenient, you can't come by other fish, not herring. And again, I assume the difference between commercial production, not commercial production. If you already bought it, the mukminan adino, we go back to the strictly of look chavav. Even if they're they are lying together and they're soaking together, just in plain water. Of I feel but low herring, and even they're not herring. You can matter no matter what. But we say maybe initially they were not sold together. They're rather mixed afterwards. We're not concerned with absorptions. Zemi said one for the other. The lace busham nunis. Now all this is when there's no fat and no fattiness. It's not oily. Because it's Safik Rabbanan. When there's fattiness, we have to be machmir. That is Safik Torah. Because the oil cause is a transfer medium. Stam dogim meluchim or stam dogim she'ein meluchim, but the generic fish, whether it's salted or not, we're not concerned about the fattiness. There was a doubt. We're lenient. Because most of them don't have this fattiness. And furthermore, that was fake sveka. It's a double suffix. Maybe they weren't sold together. After it was salted, but maybe there's no fattiness here. It's mutaraisa. Yesh fake sveka. And since there's this fake sveka here and the raisa, mutar b'rabbanan v'chad suffix. It's mutar even the rabbanan where it's no shamnunis with a chad suffix of whether they were salted or not. This is only where the fish are moist and mixed with each other. But fish which has been salted and dried, kamo toronus, the tubucus, whatever they are. Which are mixed together, tome and tar. It's made and gankein yavashim, and the other fish is also dry. The treif fish is dry. The treif fish is dry. Mutar b'choni, that's mutar ma'abat. There's no concern to be stringent. Even to be stringent, l'chumra. There's no evidence that they were salted together. They were certainly sold individually. That's how they deal with such fish. You take the word so you rip one each one separately, and they sold each one separately. Then they hang them, and they separate between them, so that the wind and the sun will envelop them. They'll dry, show them there. Kasav the Nogul Achmir Gamazel Chatchila. Wow, there's a minute the Imachmir Chatchila, even in this case. Imunachim B'neihem, if they are lying amidst each other, Akam Shono. Klomar meaning Damon Yisrael, not that the Chachamim were or the Paiskim were Machmir, the masses of Israel. Nogul Gamazel Achmir. Actually, didn't even Shemachim Chumra. Interesting. Even though there's no room for the Chumra Zu, Af L'das Machmirin. Even according to those who are machmir, they're not machmir in this case, but the Yisrael Kedoshim Hein, Jews are holy, for no lachmir, and their custom was to be machmir. So a place where there no custom to be machmir, when the dried fish are mixed together, and mutain lechol b'li pikul klal, you can eat them without any concern whatsoever. I'm at base. V'day yishon afil chumazu lo shayah b'dorim b'yeshalanu. It's not relevant to our dried fish. Kagon toren subak. So Micah's chayotzbem, the meimena lo shema shiyah nimtza b'nei dogim tmeim. We never heard that there is any trade fish mixed among them. The gam had dogim aktanim l'maod, and even the very small fish according stinkis. Ain't bam to dogim tmeim. I assume some form of sardines. They're no tamei fish. Ulai motzei miuta de miuta. If you find the smallest minority, because it's not going to be more than that, the zorkin. Zarkon, you toss them away, and mutarin, the other ones are mutar. Also small fish which are strung together on narrow sticks, according Miticus or Eisenarchus, Ein Bohem Shum Chashash Klau. That's very good sounds. I don't know what it is. There's no concern whatsoever. Cloud at all. The call Machir Elu, anybody is Machir of this, Elu, something similar. He is just astonishing. Also moist, salted fish go Shanga, Vaila, Ribitza, Laxin. Laxin evidently is lax. Ein Bohem Shum Chashash Klau. There's no concern. There are no Tmei among them. Shemati Shebezar Elita, I heard that in some cities in Lithuania, Loyochlim, Hadani Vesho, the Nadia dry fish, Kitar and Tsubek, Chayotzebem, Loyadati, Mezatam, I don't know why not. Kanshmati Shechadagdolim, Bedosh Lishil Fanenu. In 3 generations back, Asuram forbade it, the Godador Achakolav, no, the God argued him, the Eternal allowed them. They showed an ancient town, cloud law, Asran, as I explained. There's no reason at all to forbid them, as we have stated. Lam Gimel. Isa Mishnah. Mishnah says the tzir, brine, im yeshba daga kilbis, it has a fish called kilbis inside. Mutter had tzir, the brine is mutter. If doesn't have the fish called kilbis inside, it's also. Bia divrei advar means, according to Rashi, the derech had tzir shadani torim. Normally the brine of kosher fish, shem harbe chavios echad, when there are many of them in one barrel. The Osnatsar there is created and grows on its own among them. Min dog tame shenikres kilbis. A certain type of tame fish called kilbis. Vimura batzir shel dogin tmeim. But if there's non-kosher fish brine there, amitiv l'garish the kilbis does not grow there at all. Lo naidus alafilu im dogin tmeim lo yiskayem kilbis. Even with non-kosher fish, the kilbis will not, even though it itself is a non-kosher fish, does not survive. Fiyamas will die. Therefore, non-Jewish merchants, and who brought fish brine. Im kilbis achas shotetesbo. If one kilbis is swimming among them, there's a sign that it's kosher brine. Main kilbis shotetesbo. There's no kilbis swimming there. Osha kilbis may, so it's a dead kilbis. Also forbidden. Because we're afraid maybe there is non-kosher fish right there. Also difference between open and closed barrels, as we shall see. When they brought many barrels of brine, it says find a live kilbis in one of them. If all the barrels are open, is all permitted. Or it to be one big tachoivis, one group. If they're closed, he mutaris in the barrel in which you found the kilbis is permitted. The kulas and the rest of them are also. But even they're open, there's another chumrah. The low side be kilbis achas. One kilbis is not enough. We're concerned it maybe came from elsewhere. Lo nisava mimeno, and then it wasn't generated in this barrel. So you need to have two of these kilbuses. But in a closed barrel, one is enough. Because if it came from elsewhere, when it was when it was already open, Mesa would have died. And when it's closed, something could not have come from elsewhere. But if it's open, then maybe a very short time ago, that fell in, and that's why it isn't dead yet. If there are two, we're not chayshish for that. In brackets, it says here, Caleb Perish Rashi Sham, it's a tour, Shulchan Shishmita in Zet, the Besuchos Kulam Mutaras. Not clear why they left out the Salach, they have to open, they're all permitted. Vayin, Bach, Shishib Dochagara, Vayin Shach, Sivkon Yuches Viduk. Lamed Hey. Rambam's also perkim Yeshlo Das Acheres V'Choze. Shocking. Rambam has a completely different opinion. Schemo Kamen of saying some rabbis agree with him. Buddha B'Chol Chavi Seer Dogim in every a barrel of fish brine. Mishiasim Misimim Sham Dog Echad. They put in deliberately. Doesn't go on its own. A fish to a sign as a sign. Shatzir Min Dogim Elu that this brine is from kosher fish. Al kilbis udak tor, and the kilbis is not a tray fish but a kosher fish. It's some which they put there as a sign. In kum sulas are all open. Dai bedag echad b'chavis achas. It's enough to have one fish in one barrel. The chashibi kul kechad they're all considered as one. In stuma same they're close. Sarch biur yoser need to have more clarification. And to b'shnei chavios to find in two barrels the b'chal achas a fish in each one. Doesn't mean we say that we still kill this fish. Doesn't mean that we stomach then we assume that all of them are kosher brine. Also, even if the fish is not complete, the kilbis, I guess. No. If there's a kilbis there, even if the fish in the barrel, other than the kilbis, I assume, is not complete. And you can't see any scales. You come never see Marosha. Going back to yesterday's sugya. If the head and the spine are complete, umakir between the signs is going to be daktar, and you can tell from his own recognition that it's kosher fish, mutter it's permissible. The bracket says here, why they were very makatzer. Lamed Vav. This is what it says. You can't take brine from a non-Jew unless a kosher fish was swimming there after you dag echad, even one of them. A non-Jew who brought a cartload of open barrels of brine, but dag echad tar ba'achas man, and there's one of these kosher fish in one of them. Kulam tar is all permitted. If they were closed. Pasach achas. If you opened up one v'nitza b'tag tahar, and you found a kosher fish in there, shniya v'nitza b'tahar, and then you open a second barrel and found another kosher fish, kulam mutar is they're all mutar. Vushia rosha shodag v'shechol kayom, but this is only as long as the head of the fish and its spine are intact. Before I thought it was going to have the other fish in the barrel, and that's how I translated. No, I think it was wrong. This kilbis has to be recognized as being a kosher fish. And it's enough, even you don't see scales, to see that it has the right shape of head and spine. There's some two barrels when they're closed. It's a chazaka. I forgot the whole chazaka, but normally establish chazaka 3 times, not with 2 times. Nevertheless, came the tzir doni drabanan. Since fish bite is the drabanan prohibition, they're lenient by 2. They should be shots. Because we have the shita of Rebbe, I think it is. That even 2 is the chazaka. That's why they were meko. And the bracket says nearly. That's what he thinks. This is a very long simon. Okay.